Hi. I got your message. I got your message. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. Hi, guys. Hello. Perfect. I love it. Hang on, I'm going to light some candles and, do all that business. Let me know when you're ready to come in. Welcome in, guys. We are jumping on just to do a live with Rebelation Paranormal with Miss Rebel. I have some questions people have sent over for her to answer, and then, of course, if you have any answers, any questions you have, I definitely can put those down, and if we have time, we can get to them. We're going to talk about paranormal investigating, kind of why she chooses to do some of the things that she does, etc., etc. Hello. If you have questions, let me know. Let me know. Hi, Ava. How are you? So, sorry for the change in plans tonight. It was a treat. So, anyway, hi, Stephanie. How are you? I was good to my mother-in-law. That's all I got. Hi, welcome in. I did wear them pretty well. I mean, I think they poked through my mittens just like a little bit, but a little bit. Yeah. So, did what I had to do and then I was done. So, anyway, hi, how are you? Rebel, let me know when you're ready. No hurry. I do have some questions that everybody that a lot of people sent over. We're not usually on this late, so we'll see how this goes. Um, you know, but we are going to talk about paranormal. If you have questions, if you do want to jump in, and we know you, you're welcome to jump in as well. We're going to do several more of these. Um, No, you are good. You're good. No worries. So definitely just let me know. We're going to do more paranormal. We're going to also do live with Miss Jen on dream interpretation. Tomorrow night, we are talking more about things that have to do with being an empath and how you can create boundaries and how you can um, take back, right? And decide, is it a gift? Is it not? Is it something you're born with? Is it something that's created? So it's a lot of fun stuff on Wednesday nights that we talk about that part of being an empath, right? And so we'll do that tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central. And we do that every single Wednesday. We call it Work It Wednesday. Work it, not work it, but shadow work, things like that. Ava, it will be. So I'm doing my darndest to make sure and get them posted on YouTube. So, like the class, we did a self-love salt class today, and I think it's already posted over on YouTube. So I'm trying to make sure that it can get on there for everybody. And but tomorrow night on Wednesday night this month, we are talking about impasse and the way that we can kind of embrace and harness that, and then we'll move on to different topics as well. Okay, let me invite you in. Do do do. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so good. I got a little feisty out of me, so I feel okay.
right, right.
Hi guys.
Hey, Chica.
So I have some questions for you, Revelation Paranormal.
All right, I'm ready.
You let me know when you want to start. Is there anything you want to talk about first?
I know. I mean, I say let's just get to the
Well,
questions.
let's just go.
Yeah, get down to the nitty gritty.
Everybody says, "Hey, Rebel."
Hey, everybody. Hey, Shelby.
Hi,
Nadine,
Shelby.
Julie.
So
Hi,
funny.
Jupiter. I don't know if
Do the
she's in here
tappy
yet.
tap. Thank you. I think I saw her pop in. I thought. I'm echoing a little bit. Can you guys hear that?
I don't hear an echo,
You
but
don't
of
hear an
course I
echo?
didn't hear it last time either.
Do you guys hear it? If you guys don't, I am okay just moving forward. I just want to make sure you don't. Nope. Okay. Okay.
All
So
right.
we're ready. Okay. Shelby says,
There she
hey.
is. I said, hi, Jupiter. Hi, Jen.
Hi. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So if you're new in here and you don't know who Rebel is, Rebel's one of our longtime peoples, and she does paranormal. And we're so grateful that she does, because beforehand I was very much like, I'm not being a part of it. And she's convinced me it's okay. I mean, the universe tries to convince me more, but you know. So we thought we'd do some more paranormals, and I think we're going to work together on doing some other fun things that have to do with paranormal stories. Like, I love the Jeepers Creepers thing. Like, I really want to look more
Right?
into that too.
Yeah.
Um, but I did get some questions. So if you guys do have questions, please post them and we will try to get to them, and we'll kind of go from there. So,
All right.
all right. So one of the questions we have has to do with your investigations that you do or that you have done. That
Mm-hmm.
how much research do you do before you actually go on an investigation? Can you talk to us a little bit about how you do that? Because I know you did other investigations as well, and I know there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, so for example with like the Bell Witch Cave,
Mm-hmm.
I started researching all the history and trying to, like, when I'm researching history, I try to find reliable sources,
Mm-hmm.
not just somebody's TikTok that they've made, you know what I mean? I mean there are truth to those, but
Right.
like with the Bell Witch, there's two different legends. One says it was the neighbor that cursed the family, but yet then it goes into the Native American burial grounds and the sun disturbing those, which
Mm-hmm.
to me would make way more sense than, the neighbor cursing the family.
Right, right.
Um, I try to find as much history as I can. That way, when I go to a location, I kind of know what I'm getting into. Like I do a lot of the battlegrounds, the Civil War stuff, the cemeteries and things like that. I try to look at the old maps and look at the history of where they traveled, and like what could possibly have happened before the Civil War on that land.
That's
You know what
good.
I mean? Because, going into an investigation, if it's the land that's haunted,
Mm-hmm.
that's a totally different setup than just going out trying to talk to, Civil War soldiers.
Right,
You know, there can be a lot more influences there that a lot of people don't know about.
right, right.
So with the history, I'm really big on trying to get as much information as I can before I actually go to the location.
Do you just do like Google, or is there like local state and city
Well,
documents
I
that you go
use
through?
Google, but I'll try to find like actual newspaper clippings
I love
or
that.
something through the libraries, a government site.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, really reputable, like sources.
Actual things that maybe were documented.
Right,
I
right.
love that. Have you ever gone into one and not done an investigation? And is that why you do it now?
Um, I will say when I was on my adventure in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
we helped a private client. I had absolutely no information going into this investigation to help this client.
Mm-hmm.
And walking in, it was kind of like you're blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to figure out, okay, is this residual? Is this intelligent? Is this a spirit? Is this an entity? Is this, like
Yeah.
you really going in blindsided. So that at that point, that feeling of really trying to figure it out, but it's not giving you a lot of evidence as to what it is. That's where I like to research a lot of the history, because then I know what I'm walking into. Because that, I feel like that was harder to, discover and pinpoint to be able to help this family than,
Yeah.
just going out looking for ghosts.
Yeah. No, I could see that. And especially, wasn't there a kid involved, a child involved in that
Oh
one?
yeah, there was four of them,
Yeah.
and they were all being, tortured throughout the day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and night.
Is there certain times that you think it would be more beneficial to not have all the knowledge before you go in, or do you think that it's always a thing that you need, or is it case by case?
Um, for me, going into an investigation, I would like to know the history, because then I can try to connect to something that is possibly there,
Right.
instead of calling in whatever is there.
Anything and
You know what I mean?
everything.
Like it's still going to happen, but
Right.
my intentions going into it is, let's, you know, focus on trying to communicate with these people and not everything else.
Right. No, that makes
So
sense.
for me, it's that's kind of why I do it, because I mean, you never know what's out there.
Right. No, that's true. I think, I mean, knowledge is power, right? That's what we always say.
Right.
We like knowledge, it makes it easier. No, I love that.
Yeah.
That was actually the next question was, do you feel it's better to know what you're walking into? So you answered that one. Um, let's see. Why were you drawn into paranormal? Like, what made you think this is definitely something I want to do?
So, the way I was raised is, very spiritual. My parents are energy workers. They were doing a lot of, energy workshops, meditations, things like that. And I was the one that got to tag along. So I picked up all these things. But when I was younger, like if I saw an animal on the side of the road that had been hit or something, I would open myself up to make sure they had crossed over. I mean, I can remember being on the school bus
Mm-hmm.
and not telling anyone, but seeing it and then doing my thing. And then I started having experiences myself outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's kind of what sparked it. And then going through my addiction and all the darkness, for years,
Mm-hmm.
I think finding myself today has really opened my eyes to see, they're just like us. You know what I mean? They just don't have, protons,
Meat suit.
electrons, and neutrons anymore. They don't have this meat suit,
Right. No skin. Yeah.
But energy is energy.
Yeah.
It never can be destroyed. It just transmutes. It just
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm, want to do the animals or whatever, why wouldn't I want to do that for somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what's out there?
Yeah.
And how dark it can get.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that so many times people don't always consider that it is truly all energy, that everything's energy, everything. And
Mm-hmm.
we're all really energy workers to a point. Whereas you would do that when you saw animals, I would be like, oh my gosh.
There are a lot of times I'd start crying, and then I would
That's
do my
me.
thing, and but that brought that relief,
Mm-hmm.
of I did what I could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's ultimately their choice, but I
Yeah.
did what I could do, and why wouldn't I do that for a person?
No, I love that. I love that. I always think that's the beautiful thing about you and I's friendship is like, not that you're not that either one of us are like we only do this, obviously, but I
Right.
love that I'm really passionate about helping people hear, and then you're really passionate. It's like you catch the ones I couldn't get. Okay, okay.
Right. Right.
I love that part because it really is true. And people think that just because you don't have a physical body anymore, at least on this plane, that you don't have and experience the same things. And I feel like that's just not true.
Right. And, another thing for me is how everybody calls everything a demon nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yes, there are those. However, they're very rare.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you think about the worst time you've ever been angry,
Hmm.
and the thoughts that go through your head, and that intention is going to display itself as if it is a demon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I'm pissed off, you know what I mean, in the afterlife, I'm going to screw some shit up. You know what I mean? I'm going to have some fun with it,
Yeah.
and to me, it's understanding where they're at, even though they're presenting as a dark
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's still a person.
Yeah, and sometimes I know that we've gone back and forth on this before. Sometimes the things people classify as dark or demons or all those things, whatever they do, um, I think that sometimes there are some of the darker energies that are so protective over people that they're not necessarily just like you guys that know me close know that like I have this dog energy that's around me sometimes and it's not a nice one, but I mean it's always around when I need protection. It's just one of those energies that's around me, and I would not say it's a being of light for sure.
Right,
But I
right.
mean it's very much energetically protection for me anyway, and I've always felt that since I was little. So it's something that I'm not scared of. I know that it's there, but some
When
people
it's
wouldn't like it too much.
right, and it's not only people. I mean,
Yeah.
people get possessive of houses,
Yeah.
objects. That's
Yeah.
why you have a lot of dolls or different antiques,
Yeah.
because that could have been somebody's everything.
Yeah. Hmm.
So they tag along with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be really anything at that point, not just
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, energy is just transferable and people don't think so. And that's kind of like the same thing with manifesting. Like we put so much energy into manifesting the life we desire, but if you go into manifesting in spirit form, you can literally bring things on yourself like poltergeist type things and stuff like that because you're not your energy is powerful, people.
Right,
It
right.
is.
Well, that's like the experience I had during my addiction of seeing that dark entity with the red eyes and like triangle head, and
Yeah.
and ignoring it, laying down to go to sleep, tucking in tight, and then I hear my name whispered in my ear. I ignore it, like, nope, I don't hear you. I don't hear
Deuces. I'm out.
you. And then
Bye.
the next thing I know, I hear this deep guttural scream that vibrated my eardrum of my
Mhm.
name being yelled in my ear, and I was out. Like, I just left. I didn't acknowledge it. I
Right.
didn't, like, I was out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting. It
Yeah.
can get very
Yeah.
interesting because, like you said, your energy is very
Mhm.
powerful. And
Yeah.
I was in the depths of my addiction,
Mhm.
and it was poor me playing the victim, manipulating, all of that. And
Yeah.
I think that allowed, they just opened the door.
It does. It's kind of like too, and I know everybody's done this before, but like you lay in your bedroom that you lay in every night and the lights are out and suddenly like that chair that has the laundry on it looks like a big monster, like your mind starts really actively playing tricks on you. I think my favorite thing that I do that I think is the most ridiculous, I don't really do it anymore, but if I watch scary movies, and scary movies for me are, it's like it has to be something that could potentially be real for it to be scary for me, and usually it's spiritual. And I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look out the blinds, and as soon as I look out the blinds, there's gonna be a monster, whatever, right here
Right,
in the
that would be
exact
eyeball
same
looking
place
at
out of
you.
all the blinds in my house. There is going to be right in the only place I look. It's right there to get me. So it makes no sense, but we do it to ourselves so many times. So
Right.
I think a lot of that stuff, I think it is overused so much when it's talking about spirits and different things like that. Because I think we just bring some of it on. Um,
Well,
let's
that's like when we first moved into this house, I really hadn't started up the paranormal investigating yet. And I was sitting in the living room, and it's like 12 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, I hear three bangs on the window next to me.
Nope.
I didn't look outside, I didn't open the door. I was just like,
Right. Yeah. No,
I
that would
waited
be.
for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm like, through the blinds.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's
You know,
crazy.
and then I've had things tap on my bedroom window.
Mm-hmm.
You know, three taps on the bedroom window, and I'm like, nope.
Nope. I'm going with that was a tree branch in the wind.
Right.
That's what I'm going with. I am. That's so funny. No, I think so much. We just it's our mind is beautiful and amazing and absolutely insane, right?
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, Chica, that was while I was watching Paranosis. I heard three
No,
taps on my bedroom window, and I'm like, nope.
nope, not today.
I'm just gonna keep on watching.
That's so funny. How did you come up with the name Revelation Paranormal?
Well, as y'all know, my name is Revel. um, like through this process, I guess you could say I kind of took the word revelation, and I was playing around with it, and I was like Rebels Revelations, and I'm like, well, let's just turn that V into a B, and then there you go.
There it is.
There it is. So I was like,
And that's
yeah.
all she wrote.
Because I mean, every time I go on an investigation, I learn something new. You know, even though I know what I'm doing, it's new feelings, new, things that come up while I'm out there. Like this last time when I went to the cemetery, I felt someone put their hand on my shoulder, but
Right.
it was not a threatening, thing, and I'd already felt people walking up to my right.
Right.
And then I asked, where are you? It said to the right. And I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I felt the hand on my shoulder, but it was more of that comforting of like, I'm here for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it went away after that, so I'm always learning myself
Right.
energy wise of what happens and why I feel the way I do while being out there. So I'm still I'm still the student still.
Always and forever. Always
Yeah.
and forever. Yeah. Do you what was it? If you could go on any three investigations, any ones that you wanted, what would they be?
Um the Whitby Abbey
Okay.
over in the UK. The Titanic.
Ooh.
Even though I don't want to take no submarine or nothing, but it would be awesome.
It would be. It would be.
If
Or
it was a
even just
possibility,
yeah, or even just touching and like being around those relics that were on there because that's I'm not going to say that that's going to be great energy, but it would be certainly fascinating.
Right. And then probably Stonehenge.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Amazing. Yeah, Titanic, right?
I
We're
think
going to throw you down to the bottom of the ocean.
Chica had a question. Do you dream about ghosts a lot? Well, here's the thing about me and dreaming. um, Most of the time I'm not in my body. I'm out astral wherever. So no, I don't dream a lot, but yeah, I know I'm doing something.
She's out Doing something. Fighting battles for us all. That's what she's doing.
Something. I mean, waking up seeing, what I can only describe as a dementor in front of me in my room, like between me and the ceiling fan. And that's what I was seeing wherever I was at.
Mhm.
So it's yeah. I've woken up with fresh cut grass in my bed in the wintertime.
Mm. All I think of that is 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
But I'm like, I'm making the bed and I'm like, wait a minute, where did this grass come from? And I go outside and I'm looking through our whole neighborhood, like while I'm driving around, like there is no green grass anywhere. Everything's dead because it's a winter, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I don't know where it came from, but
No more
obviously I
pulling
went
grass.
somewhere last night.
No more pulling gloves with, fingers that are blades. No, no, none of that. None, not allowed. Not allowed. What prompts your research after an investigation? Like, what are some of the things that prompts you? Like, what are some things that as soon as you hear them or you experience it, what things prompt that for you to go and do research after?
um, well, two different instances that I've had happen while investigating is the first one was we were over at a Union Civil War fort area that they've turned into like trailheads next to the river and stuff like that. We were doing an investigation and we had this one particular male that kept coming through the spirit box.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we were asking, who is your commander? He said, Ulysses. But he kept saying lost trap, and one of the mediums in the chat had a name pop in her head that was Jack Henry. So then I asked, is your name Jack Henry? And we kept getting yes every time I'd ask through the spirit box. And actually, Jen did the research on that one. She found the soldier registry to where she looked up Jack Henry in the state of Tennessee for the Union,
Mm-hmm.
and actually found his regiment, found him, and everything like that. So after that instance, we went to a different cemetery that we were investigating at night,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked who was your, because we were trying to talk to a Civil War soldier,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked again, who is your commander? And through the spirit box, we got Sam Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went back through because it was weird because, I asked, uh, were you Confederate or Union? It came through Union,
Mm-hmm.
which in the cemetery is all Confederates.
Yeah.
So there's no Union there. Well, then I go back and I look up the name Sam Barrett, and he was like a general of the artillery division. And then I started looking up the maps
Mm-hmm.
of the different battles and where they traveled, and found to where they had come through that area, and not even 10 miles down the road they had a small battle, not a very significant one, but they still had a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that it was maybe a Union soldier that had passed from that small battle, as they
Right.
were traveling, um that could have, come over and said hey. But
Right.
it's important to me, like if I get a name, um to kind of do the research on it to see if I can find any information.
So the names, do you typically, I guess you're doing the research before helps you, I'm sure, on some of the things to be able to know where to look for names and things like that.
Yeah, so well, sometimes, because, for example, the last cemetery we went to, there was the lady that owned the Belmont Mansion here in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know her name. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, so while I was there, I didn't realize that's who it was, even though I read it on the plaque. I didn't know the history of it,
Right.
you know, there at that moment. But then I went home later and looked it up. And I mean, like, she was a big pivotal portion of the Nashville history. She was one of the wealthiest ladies in the state, and things like that. So, it's important for me to at least try to look into, um, trying to see if I can't find
Yeah.
any information on them.
Oh, I love that. I love
Because
it when it shows up like that. So,
yeah, because we moved. It was funny because we moved like a little bit down the hill from her mausoleum, and we're standing there, and I asked, can you tell us your name? And then because I think it was Jen sensed a woman standing like off in the back. And then I was like to the lady that's standing off in the back, can you tell us your name? And the name Sarah came through.
mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, Sarah was that woman's mother's name.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's buried in the same cemetery, but they're not side by side. She's in the
Separated.
direction of where we were facing.
I love that.
So I mean, it's a possible. I'm not going to say it was her
Mm-hmm.
because there's 206 acres in the cemetery. You
That's
know
a
what I
lot.
mean? Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm sure there's a lot of Sarahs out there somewhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but at the same time, it's interesting to kind of see if there's any correlation.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
the next time I go back out, maybe I can ask different questions,
Sure. To make
to
more
try to
connections.
make that correlation to see if it's her or if it's a different person.
Yeah. No, I love that. Let's see. Have you ever had a spirit attached to one of your devices or affect any of your devices? And if so, which one? And tell us about it.
uh, I'm not going to say I've had them attached to my devices. I've had one follow me home.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jack Henry, the soldier. um, but I believe he did that because he was so desperate to cross over. Because, like I said, during our communication, it kept coming through lost, help, shame, guilt, like all of this. And I can remember sitting there saying, but you don't have to worry about that over there.
Right.
If you go into the light, you don't have to worry about that. That's all absolved. You did what you had to do in that moment.
Right.
Whether it's you took another life or whatever it is that you did in your life is,
Yeah.
like it's absolved. Like you don't have to worry about it,
You don't have to hold
like
on to it
don't,
forever.
yeah, yeah. And then I think he was just so desperate to be able to cross over that he followed me home and ended up throwing my TV remote
I
at
was
me.
saying, then he threw something at you. He threw something at you.
Yeah, but I believe what I saw during my addiction was an attachment
Okay.
because mom didn't tell me this, but years after the fact, she tells me that my dad kept telling her she has an attachment. She has an attachment. Like she has an attachment. Mom's like,
Thanks,
no, no,
Dad.
no. Until we're, cleansing the hell out of the apartment and
Yeah.
putting crystal grids in and perimeters and like all sorts of stuff, to lock down the area again. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they've ever attached to my equipment.
What happens if they, can you explain for those who don't know, what happens when they try to use that energy or, when things just all of a sudden go dead?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I've been on many investigations where like my phone will overheat for no reason. You know what I mean? To where the like I have perfect connection
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it like I can't find signal anywhere throughout the whole cemetery or the whole location. Like I can't find a signal anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, I have had to ask them, hey, step back. If you're affecting the equipment, please stop. Like, asking that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, another good example was I have an SLS camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that to the Bell Witch Cave when I did my public investigation as, just somebody going on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that in there. It worked for about 10 minutes and then it completely shut down as if the battery was just completely dead.
Right.
Like it wouldn't turn on. Like the tablet was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual, sensor would not turn on. And so, and they've had the ground, ground penetrating radar machines completely just be 100% charged, and when they get them there,
Be drained.
like, it won't turn on because it's dead. So I believe that they can affect it, but you can also put in precautions to kind of help keep it from affecting it that much.
Let's see. Do you have a favorite moment in all your paranormal that you've done so far?
My favorite moment?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I would probably have to say Jack Henry coming home with me and doing this, the crossing over ceremony the
Right.
following day and got him crossed over.
Would you would you say that that is probably a unique experience, or have you had other experiences like that as well?
Um, I don't know. All my instances, and experiences have kind of all been different. Um, so like Jack Henry throwing the remote at me was one thing. The knocking on the window. Um, when I was younger, I saw my great grandmother walk into my bedroom, sit on my bed, and carried on a full conversation with her as if she was there. Like it was nothing, knowing that she's no longer here with us.
Yeah.
You know, I I've had the seeing the attachment during my addiction and seeing that dementor thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so.
Well, that
I
leads
mean,
into the next question on what's your scariest moment.
I would have to say seeing the red-eyed whatever it was,
Yeah.
and hearing that guttural, non-human, just voice screaming my name in my ear after seeing that thing.
Yeah.
Because first the lights blew out in my living room,
That's what I was
one
going to
by
say. The
one.
light bulbs. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that put me on edge when it was like the third
Right.
one, and I'm like, I only have one more light bulb before it's dark in here, and I'm running to the bathroom and turn that light on. And then that's when I see the, like feel the eyes piercing through the wall in the
Mm-hmm.
shower at me. And, telling myself, don't look in the shower, don't look in the shower. And first thing I look in the shower. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen things like pop their head out around the corner and just pop back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, hey, how you doing?
Saying hi, passing through. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm like, go
Yeah.
ahead, say hi and go.
Right.
What I saw someone say is an attachment scary. Do you want to talk a little bit about attachments?
um, for me, what I believe happened was I was a huge alcoholic to where I was drinking a gallon of Jaeger a day and then going to the bar and drinking a $200 bar tab by myself on top of it. So there were a lot of nights that I'm blacked out.
Mhm.
Like I was just one of those. I mean, I was still alive at the party and still functioning,
Right.
but I was completely blacked out. Um, it wasn't until what really scared me during that time before I saw this attachment was we were at a party and I was blacked out. I was sitting on the couch with a friend. We're goofing around. Somebody took a picture of me. They showed me the next day the picture that they had taken. My face, like my cheekbones were poking out, all my cheeks were sunk in. My eyes were black. Like it did not look like me whatsoever. Like whatsoever.
Yeah.
Of course, when I saw the picture, I dropped the phone immediately
Right.
and was like, whoa.
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should have been my first sign, that something was wrong. But
Hmm.
being and doing what I was doing, I wasn't into my spiritual self. I'd
Right.
shut all that down years ago. I wasn't into the energy work anymore. I wasn't into practicing anything.
Hmm.
I was just surviving day to day at that
Yeah.
point. Um, so I think that would probably be the scariest because it looked like it was in me,
Yeah.
through the picture.
Kind of takes
Um,
over your persona.
right,
Yeah.
right. So that, I mean, seeing that and hearing that is scary too.
Hmm.
But that feeling of when I saw that picture, even though I didn't do anything about it at the
Right.
time,
Right.
it thinking about it today and where I'm at myself today, I'm like, holy shit.
Nope. I'm done. I'm out.
Right, right.
The reaction you would have now versus then is very different.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would be like, get the exorcist up
Mom,
here, like,
somebody help me.
yeah, like mom, I want to need some smoke. I want to need
Yeah.
a bone knife. I
Mama,
want
hurry. Help. That's funny. Oh, let's see what else we have. Blah 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 blah. We did that one. Did that one. What is a piece of equipment that you would love to have that you don't have?
I really want a portal box.
A portal box.
So a portal box is basically they use like amp tuners and all sorts of things, and they put it on a speaker to where you hook in your spirit box and it takes out all the
Oh,
and
nice.
it completely, like it clears up everything.
Nice.
You can change the settings on it to, if it reverbs or echoes or anything
Mhm.
like that, but it really drowns out that white noise without actually interfering with it
Nice.
through the machine.
They're kind of
If
noise
that makes
canceling
sense.
for the extra stuff.
Right.
Nice.
And I would love to have a music box.
How much do all those run?
The portal box is about 600 and the music box is 500.
What does the music box do?
So the music box is just a little box. It kind of looks like a coffin shape, and it has a motion sensor in the front of it. So when you turn it on, it'll calibrate and it shoots out a beam,
Okay.
in front of it. Anything breaks that beam, it starts playing music.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's creepy.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I would rather
creepy, but I
know where
like
you
it.
are.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
How do you choose what equipment to use at different investigations or when you're going to cemeteries and different places? Is there something specific that you always look for, or do you just randomly go by intuition?
A lot of times just intuition. Um, Like when I went to this last cemetery, I didn't know that they had the Confederate circle
Hmm.
there, and I knew the area that I'd gone to previously, and just kind of walked around, a different time.
Hmm.
So I decided to kind of drive through a little bit and intuitively, just kind of feel it out as I'm driving through. I saw this huge statue, and then that's when I realized it was the Confederate circle. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, let's start here. And then from there, during the investigation, I just kind of walked through and then, stop over here whenever I feel drawn to it.
Hmm.
After that, I was really drawn to this tree. I don't know what it was, but the tree was like calling me. So I went over there. We started asking, is there a portal here? They answered yes. I actually went up and touched the tree, like put my hands on it. Um, that's probably the hottest tree I've ever felt. Like the
Oh
bark
wow.
was so hot, but yet it was overcast. It was fixing to rain. Like you could hear
There
the
was no
thunder off
reason
in the
for it.
distance. I
Mister.
mean, I understand trees are gonna, radiate the heat or whatever, but this was like hot, hot. Like not burn you hot, but it's hotter than, what the bark should have been.
Right.
Um,
Nope.
because I
I don't
think
want.
it was like barely 80 degrees that day.
Right.
Yeah, and it was shaded. Like it was a big
There was
tree.
no reason for it. Your
Right.
boyfriend's right here. He hears you.
Mister!
Here's Rebel.
I got the little one over here.
That's what. He's
but
like, I hear her. I hear her.
but
Like,
yeah, I was like, I don't know why, guys, but this tree's calling me, so here we go.
oh yeah.
So a lot of times my investigations are more intuitive, just walking around. But, I do try to scout out when I get there,
Yeah.
that first location before I actually go live
Yeah.
on, where to start.
Have you had any other weird experiences with portals or places? Welcome in, Mister. Hi.
I would say with portals was the time that we were in Arizona and helping that family. She had 19 mirrors in house,
Mm-hmm.
and I think nine of them were facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we had to take down all the mirrors, because you could walk through the hallway, and I mean, you had two on this wall, and then you had the bathroom door, and then there was two on this wall, and you walked through that hallway, and you just felt it between all four mirrors. You could just feel the vortex through there.
That's wild. See, I have a lot of mirrors. I like mirrors, but for me, I always think that they reflect light. So that's for me. I'm like, they reflect so much light.
Right, right.
I mean, I take my precautions, but I do love them, but not like to sit there and stare at them. But I love them because I feel like they reflect whatever's in my house or like, good energy or whatever. But
Yeah, so when we did the house clearing, we went through because we hung all of them back up, but we made sure none of them were actually facing each other,
right,
like they were different throughout the
right.
house. And then when we did the cleansing, we made sure to, lock those down and
Hmm.
keep them contained.
Yeah, no, I get that. I know. I know you are obsessed.
I
Where's
know,
Rebel?
Mister.
Where is Rebel? Where is Rebel, huh? Wait, she's just right through the screen.
I miss you, Mister.
Meow, meow, meow. Does anybody else have any questions? Those were all the questions that we had. Oh yeah, what necklace are you wearing?
Oh, so I don't know if y'all be able to see it, if I can get close enough. But this is a crystal Buddha.
I remember when you got that, I think.
Well, I got this when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Um,
What didn't you get another one like when we first met? You had like the choice between two or something like that?
yeah, so when mom and dad went over to Thailand to study their meditations and stuff, they got me this one, and then they got me a tiger's eye Buddha that's wrapped in, just
That's
like
right.
gold wire.
That's right.
Um, I've held on to them this whole time, and this is one that um,
Can you move?
this is kind of like, the one I wear all the time, just like yours. You don't take
Right.
yours off.
I
I
don't.
do, other than the shower, this one stays on me,
Right.
24/7. And then, of course, as y'all know, I have my pocket full of rocks every day, so it just helps amplify. But I feel that it's part of my protection as well.
I do too. I mean that I think that those that we keep always are definitely protection.
Hmm.
Yes, you can come in and ask a question. Ava wants to come in.
Absolutely.
All right, you're going to have to just hang on for a second. Can you do that, please? Hi, stop. Let me find Ava. There we go. Hi.
Stephanie, I wouldn't say all of them, but it's
Hi.
possible to be any shapes or any mirror. It just really depends, I believe, on what that mirror has seen and what energy it's picked up.
Oh, my mirrors might have seen some stuff. Especially my big floor to ceiling one in the bedroom.
So
I mean, that's definitely a portal. It's seen some stuff. It has.
Yeah, absolutely, Nadine. I make sure to lock
so
all my mirrors.
the question I
Hi,
have
Ava.
is I didn't know how to type it in a short sentence is what is the research that you want people to take extra precaution with, not necessarily a person that's maybe spreading misinformation, but there's just a lot of misinformation in this area, or is there a specific type? Like if you go looking into this or this or this, you really have to read through the misinformation that's out there. Because I know
What are
there's
you
some
talking about?
people out there that give opinions.
Google knows all.
Um, and we're not going to go to people, but just like, is there a specific thing? Like, if they want to research something, take your time, really go through it, ask people who know what they're talking about.
Right. So that goes back to that reliable source. I did a lot of studying on the Warrens.
Mm.
A lot of their case studies, a lot of, their practices and their beliefs, and I mean down to the haunted items, that they had in their house. Um, all these different things. For me, that was kind of the basis, and then I started looking into the actual Amityville horror case and then the Conjuring case. And I found that with those, as publicized as they are, there's so much misinformation out there. That's when I started trying to go to um, court documents, because a
That's a
lot
great
of
idea.
times they went to court. Reading what they said in the court documents. Like I said, the newspaper clippings, you can usually find those, something in the library, something of a historical source, instead of, like I said, just, Joe Blow on TikTok, because there is a
Yeah.
lot of misinformation.
There is.
Oh,
There is. And
I
there's a
know a
absolutely.
couple
lot.
people who like quote the Warrens, and it's like that's not something they said.
Well, I
I've
also
seen that a
looked
couple times.
into Hans Holzer and his studies and his practice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, he was before the Warrens. Looking into his cases and how he would bring a medium in, let her go into trance, and then communicate with the spirits. Let them use her body to communicate, and he would record everything. all the answers that she's coming out with. And then once you look at the history of the location or the events that happened there, she was spot on.
Yeah.
And she'd never been there, didn't know any of the history. Like he made sure his mediums knew nothing about the location, nothing about the land, like they have no clue what they're walking into. And then she does her thing and allows them to channel through her, and he recorded it,
Those
so
are
for,
honestly my favorite.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love
Maybe
seeing that.
maybe she wasn't a
Those are cool.
medium.
Well, I mean,
I mean, maybe
Maybe
she
she
they
wasn't
could
a
say
medium.
that
wasn't a
too,
medium.
but the information that she's getting is like, how do you know that?
Just weird. I don't know,
um
but
I don't know. How do you know that?
and
I'm not saying
like Cindy Kaza, she goes into a lot of locations not knowing information, and what she pulls out is just phenomenal.
I love that.
Once they do the research and everything, and she's right there with the storyline, describing what it felt like for them and what happened, and everything like that. So to me, it's going to those reputable,
Yeah.
sources. um like I follow a couple people that have been in the industry for a long time, that are actually out here teaching classes.
Mhm.
The Amelia Busey,
Mm.
the
Mm.
I mean, she does spirit sessions in her house every day,
Yeah.
and she records it. And she talks to extraterrestrials. She's captured Archangel Michael's voice on recorder.
Mhm.
Like it's just phenomenal what she does. So I try to go to those credible sources, but at the same time I try to take my own piece out of each
Yeah.
each one of them.
I think it's
Yeah, that's
also
really important.
important to do your own, as you know, as we know, that you want to also understand that there's going to be people out there that will give you a lot of misinformation. So know your own boundaries and know what you're looking for, and
Mm-hmm.
go with who you truly feel called to learn from, because you're going to get a lot of differential advice. And some of it is absolutely wrong, but everybody has different ways to do it too. And so you
Right.
have to really,
Mm.
And I think that's one of the
Yeah, I,
bad portions of this industry, because
mm,
there's so much misinformation.
yeah,
And if it was normal, guys, we wouldn't call it paranormal.
normal.
I mean, if it
yep,
was
that's
normal, we
definitely
would know
thing.
about it,
Yeah, yeah,
And so everybody's just out here trying to make their own
yeah,
conclusion, but there's so much misinformation that a lot of people are walking in this blind because they have no knowledge of what they're doing.
mhm,
They've just bought equipment and think it's going to
yeah,
be a party.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, because it's
Yep, I
everywhere,
have
and
learned.
it's like, do y'all really know what y'all are stepping into?
yeah.
Because from my experience, once you open this door, there's no closing
Yeah.
it.
And
Like,
don't go into things
Nope.
scared.
Yeah,
If you're
absolutely.
scared
don't
or
do
you
it.
have hesitation and you think, oh gosh, what if this happens? Then don't do it yet. Like, don't,
Don't
because
Absolutely.
do
it'll
it.
happen.
Or
It'll
go
happen.
with somebody
Yeah.
who really knows what they're doing and will pull you out when they know that something's
Yeah.
going wrong.
Right.
You got to
Right.
start somewhere,
Yeah.
but go with somebody who knows what's going on. And if you find somebody who you really like, don't take their word for it. I've learned this firsthand. Okay. Go research what they're saying. Okay. I'm not too sure. I will go and I will talk to Rebel and Jen. These two are masters of research, and I'm like, nowadays we're like, wait a minute, because they know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, don't take it at face value, guys, because sometimes it's just a woohoo.
Absolutely.
True. It's
Absolutely.
true. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are out there to try and scare you. And is it something to be scared of? Like, yeah, there's some shady ass shit that can happen, but you have to stand in your power, right? And go in, feel powerful, and not be shit bags to the spirits, not be, anything like that. You have to go in with a respect, but also with some boundaries and understanding.
Absolutely. And the more fear that
Mhm.
you walk into it with, the more you're going to feed the negative energy and draw it closer to you.
Yeah.
If you go in with 0 ounce of fear, no matter what's there, it's less likely
Yeah.
to affect you as badly
Yeah.
as, when you're just scared out of, scared shitless.
Yeah. And if you don't want anything to happen ever, then I would highly advise you don't get involved in it.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
Right. Because, like I said, once you open this
Exactly.
door, I don't believe it can be
Yeah.
closed. I think it's
Yeah.
always going to be there because you've already had the experience. Your
Yeah.
brain knows something is there.
Yeah. You're more sensitive to it. I mean, even with me, I try to have boundaries of like, don't touch me, like don't do it. And the only time I have been is when we were at our retreat, and it was like I was having a really rough night, and I felt the blanket lift up and someone tucked me in, and I was like, ah,
And
no.
I'm over here going, they just tucked you in. Like,
But I was like,
It's
at least it was a
fine.
happy pat. It was grandma. It
Yeah,
was
me
the
and Rebel are
grandma.
used to being touched. Her,
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it just
Stephanie asked, "How does she lock her mirrors?" We have opened a new fear. How do we close this?
there's a
Not
lot of,
all
I mean, there's a lot of ways you
couple
can do
guys,
it.
but if you want to lock them, this one knows how.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I use my spit and I use a protection ruin. And I literally lick my finger and draw the ruin on the mirror
Mm.
in all four corners and set my intention that at this point, this is no longer open to be a portal. No energy can pass through in and out. Basically set your boundaries, of what you expect from
Yeah.
the mirror, set those boundaries, stern boundaries, and know that it's there. And just like you would cleanse your room or cleanse your house, repeat it every so often just to ensure that it's there and go on about your business.
Ava, how about
And
you?
me,
What do
I
you do?
have a locking sigil. I put a specific sigil on mine, and a tiny little sliver of selenite goes in the little bottom of the corner of it. That's just what I like to do. Everybody
Right.
has their thing, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, there's
You
so
put
many
your
ways that
own
you
energy
can
into it.
set those boundaries and intentions. Like Avern said, you can use crystals, you can use ruins, you can create your own sigil.
Yeah.
Create
Oh
your
yeah.
own protection sigil and put it on there.
I
You know,
use my
What is
thumbprint.
in your bathroom, chica? If you don't
I,
buy mirrors, what's in your bathroom? I'm
I
just
I
curious.
use I use my thumbprint, but I use a thumbprint when I go into a new building sometimes too. So you guys know I use that on the top of my spell jars and things like that. I always use my
mhm.
thumbprint with sealing it with any intention that I have. If I'm doing a scrying mirror, because I do scry, then I do a whole lot more.
Right,
A
right,
whole
yeah,
lot more.
a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
Can
look
I
in your
be
mirror.
oblivious to these?
I
I mean,
don't look
that's
in my
all up to
mirrors
you.
either, but
You could use a car window. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. 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 That's funny. Yeah, no, I think you only have two mirrors. I seriously, I have so many through my house. I really do. I just do the thumbprint though on mine.
Yeah. And they
Yeah, it
always
is a
say,
whole different universe.
never
In
face
this
two
room alone,
mirrors
I have
together.
5.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I just they're
Or
yeah.
your mirrors towards your bed, or for me, as long as it's locked, it can be wherever it wants to be.
I'm just kidding. I really don't need to be watching that mess. I just feel sorry for anything on
You
the
can
other
make a
side
scrying
watching.
mirror. Scrying mirrors,
You
you
can do.
typically put like protection runes on the back of them, and
hmm
you put protection stuff on them, so you can have a scrying mirror and be perfectly safe. This is your creation. This
Yeah.
is your thing.
Yeah.
You're
So
the boss.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
Go
I
get a
do
scrying mirror. Go have fun
um
with it. Just be
I
safe.
do a scrying mirror, and then after I get done with the, depending on how you make it, like I make all mine out of frames and glass, and then once the paint has dried, I will put black salt inside the frame, and then I'll do some crystals on the front and then crystals in the back. So you can do a lot of different things, but you really want to put the intention of um, not requesting some crazy shit coming out. That's what you want to do, because
Right.
when you scry, you're dropping in, and you're
And
dropping in to a very, very
Kitty,
like, yeah.
you play. Kitty
Oh,
has the best scrying mirror class, guys. So
That's
you may
true.
want to request that. But she does have a great one. I went through it. That's where mine come from.
yeah, we
Bug
definitely
her.
need to step. Thank
It's been
you.
overtime. It's time to do another one.
Thank you. I, you know, Tuesdays is on Tuesdays we're starting to do classes during the day, on the different things, and so that may be one that I do again, because I've had several of you guys ask about it. Yeah.
And
So
I kind, I kind of look like, look at scrying mirrors just the same as messing with a Ouija board.
yeah.
Because
Honestly,
like you
yeah.
said, you're dropping in, you're allowing that energy to come into you, like not into you, but around you. You know what I mean? Into your space. Let's put it that way.
No, I always say
And
I'm dropping in, so I do.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it kind of correlates for me. Anything dropping into, I take that extra precaution and set
Yeah.
bigger boundaries and things like that.
Yeah. I don't do Ouija boards. I don't have anything against it. I just don't really need to see something being spelled out, because my mind will be like, "Wah!" No, I can't do it. But I do all different kinds of divination. So it's really actually a ridiculous thing that I don't, because I have all kinds of things come through all the time, and it's just a form of divination if you're using it for divination.
Right,
Now, if
right.
you're using it for fuckery, that's on you. Fuck around and find out. But that's up
I
to you.
don't I don't personally have a Ouija board. I have used Ouija boards. However, a lot of times, as you guys know, at this point, I'm on these investigations by myself. So I have to really be aware of what's going on, how I'm feeling. Like, if I start getting angry or something, like the live's gonna die and I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know that's my boundaries,
Yeah.
but I will not use a Ouija board by myself.
Yeah.
That is my number one rule with the Ouija board. I will not do it by myself. Like, I want somebody
Nadine.
else there with me.
I'll do it with you.
Well, that's fine. Get over here. Let's do it, but I won't.
I will. I swear to God, I'm going to get up there this year to see you guys. I swear to God, I
Yeah.
will. And maybe at the retreat.
All right, here's the thing. Do not do it in the retreat house, because there's all kinds of fuckery that goes on in there already. Somewhere else,
Okay,
not
so
retreat house.
outside?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to that little
We'll do it
trap
at a
door
bonfire.
thing
It'll be
over
fun.
on by the little hill over
There
there in the
really
yard.
is a lot of energy in that house. There is. It's not
There
negative.
is.
There's a lot.
Oh, that should be fun.
Yeah, Nadine heard children and different noises and stuff. And like I said, I was laying there next to Shelly, and I had a lot of anxiety in the middle of the night, and I felt my blanket lift and someone tucked me in, and I was like, oh, great. Hi. Yeah.
Oh,
And then all of us
well,
sitting up,
Stephanie.
and Hope was like, nope.
Yep. Yep.
So, Stephanie, I have a question for you. What did you do after the board came back out?
Ooh.
She
what?
buried the board and it came back out.
Ooh. Sounds like
What you guys
Jumanji.
do after that? Please do tell.
Right.
Jumanji.
Baby message.
That's when I'd be binding it. I'd be
What
getting
is
some
the- I can't
leather,
remember
some
what it was.
ivory. I'd be wrapping that sucker up like
Salt.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of salt.
Ran like hell.
Just
Yeah. Holy water. Like anything, anything that has
works.
potential.
I mean-
anything. Jeez. Ran like hell. Something yelled in your ear, Rebel giggled. Yeah, so I did hear from a couple people, like from up in the party loft, that I had someone come down and be like, I don't know what's going on, but like I woke up and looked around and Rebel and someone else was sitting up and I was like, hi, are you okay? And they were just like, and I was like, well, at least they weren't like, you
Yeah,
know?
that sounds about right.
And I was like, that's just so
That's where
funny.
you have the interesting conversations, just
Yeah, they
like,
were like, I just slept on the couch. I just slept downstairs on the couch. I was okay.
I'm telling you, and I have no recollection of anything like because when I sleep, I am like,
Oh, you
as
do.
Kitty, I am dead
Yeah,
to the
you're
world.
dead to the world. Yeah.
Like I
I'd
don't
just be
hear
like, go back to
anything.
sleep, Rebel. And she probably would have gone, "Nyeh."
Yeah.
Go back to
She
sleep.
she is not, I mean, she is out. Chris, when she comes to our house and she sleeps on the couch, Chris used to be like, oh, quiet. And I was like, oh no, she's not gonna wake up. Like you could have the lights on, the dog's gonna be barking, like she is dead to the world. Once she falls asleep, it's just
I
once
have
she gets there.
seen,
Right.
you remember this, Rebel? You're on the couch and they had these couch protectors and it's just like smacking you on the back of the head.
Yep.
Oh
This
yeah,
ghost
yeah.
is just
Yeah,
flipping
that was
this
in the
thing and
haunted
hitting
funeral
her.
home we
She
were
didn't wake up for
investigating.
nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Nadine.
It was a good video.
She said had a feeling something was going to be stuck in my face. So my ass was downstairs, but the herd of people talking when everyone was sleeping. Yeah, yeah. Now I was up there because, well, we'd partaken too much fruit punch, and so I was like, Rebel, how do I get not so fruit punchy? Like I'm not doing good. And she was like, I don't know, me either.
I was like, I'm feeling at myself. Like, we just gotta breathe.
And I was like, oh my god! And so finally I fell asleep. But before I fell asleep, I did hear a lot of noise, like people running up and down like the stairs and stuff. And Nadine said that she heard people moving around and stuff, but everybody was asleep. So, but it's a very
Okay,
old
great.
house.
So I'm not
Yeah.
sleeping at all during this next retreat. I'm just going to be going up and down the halls, guys. It's going to be me just like with a recorder.
Well, walking,
No.
taking that first tour through the house to like look at everything, immediately when I walked up those steps, I'm like, I don't like that mirror.
Oh.
Like, I do not like
that
that
big
mirror.
one at the end of the stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's probably what,
really-
15-foot
Alright,
tall
let's see, I'm
mirror,
going.
and I'm like, I do not like that mirror.
It's a beautiful house, but it is very old. I think it was like 1912. I think is when it was built,
Yeah, I
and they
think so.
refurbished it, and so it's 3 stories really.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
that
I'm going.
mirror-
I'll put in my request for time off tomorrow.
It's
I'm going.
it's really great. So it's just funny because we were like, ooh.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just a
I'm
good
gonna
time.
touch
But
it.
Shelly and I just hid in our room most of the time. But I was like, okay, there's no
I'm just
fan
gonna be
really
going up
right
to
there. There's no fan who's tucking me in. Shelly's
Right.
asleep. What's going on? Thanks. I see you.
It's probably grandma.
It
Yeah,
was.
get
There
your
was a very
stairs up already.
grandmotherly energy there.
I knew
Yeah.
it.
I feel like there's
Well,
some kid
that's like
energy.
Julie asked me when we got there, she's like, do you feel anything? And I was like, well, yeah, but nothing like threatening. Like, I feel like there's a woman here.
Julie is probably not going to be able to come, and God, I will miss her so much. Like
Aw.
oh my gosh,
I wanted to
you have to
Julie.
go. You have to go bother her and get her to come. Like if you haven't met her in person, you
Okay.
absolutely do not know what fucking
I've had some good
fantastic
conversations
that
with
you
Julie.
are. She's oh my God.
She had us all rolling for hours.
Yeah, her accent, and when she gets going, it's just like. So I took the shower in the water and it was spraying everywhere.
She is
She's-
like
I just
Southern
love her.
mom,
Oh, so
like
good, so
spicy
good.
Southern mom energy that I just
Yeah.
love it.
No, it's
I've always
so
loved
good,
Julie.
so
She's
good.
been amazing. For love.
Yeah, she's
Like,
so
I don't
fun.
even know
But
how
yeah,
long.
no,
God, I've known her for a
it's
long time now.
yeah, be a good time. But
Wow.
do you guys have any more questions for us while you have us all 3 on here? She is the boss. The water. It is the water.
Yeah.
It is for sure the water.
I was married.
The water. Oh, it's so fun. It's so good. So good. Yeah, if you guys are, so there are still, I think, one bedroom open for any of you guys that are in here, and then the party loft is kind of, you can really go wherever you want. So there's plenty of space, but the rooms are like 500 or so, and then all the rest are about half. So if you guys, there is space, but if you do not know me or know the group, then you do have to fill out an application type thing, so I know why you're coming.
Jen asked,
Not a
"What is
bad
your
idea.
favorite color?"
Whose favorite color?
She
Rebels.
said, "I
Wow.
put down what's your favorite color."
Rebels is probably orange.
Orange. Orange.
Orange.
Orange.
Orange.
It's
Orange.
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 Go big orange.
Dean wants the couch. Hey, those couches are comfortable. Those are some good couches.
I'm gonna sleep wherever Rebel and Jen are. That's
You
my
want to
spot.
join the stair stepper? This is true. This is
Yes,
true.
there's a lot of steps in that
It
house.
is a lot
Oh,
of steps.
geez.
I did a list of
Yeah,
questions.
it's okay.
We didn't do.
I
Are
lift
you
people
sure?
up and down stairs now. It's okay.
I mean, there's some stairs. I mean, there's some stairs.
You go up about 12
I've had to
stairs
take
and it's
down
landing.
a
You go up another 12 stairs and it's
260
like a
pound
landing.
woman.
25
2
more
stories.
stairs to get up the stairs.
Yeah, it's a good time,
So-
but it was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
all right, you guys have any more questions? We'll try to do some more of these. I think we have Rebel on 1 or 2 more times this month, and then we have Miss Jen doing dreams, and then Thursday Marty is doing the medicinal qualities of the herbs and things like that for the month. I don't know if I'll be in that one because I have that procedure on Thursday morning, but she will be doing it at her normal time. So Shelly will post and get all that out there. So do you want to do your recent
I'll try to join 1 or 2. I might even start doing my own lives again. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, let us know. We'll be there to
So-
support.
do it.
It's gonna be fun.
Do you want to do your
I'm
recent
looking
ones?
forward to it. Tomorrow, I'm asking my work if I can investigate it because they have seen a little girl there who moves curtains and stuff, and I'm going to see if they're okay with me doing that tomorrow. So that should be interesting. I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah.
Oh,
May
wait.
not. I know. It's an ambulance place, so you assume, things follow. That's
Right.
where
Oh,
Samantha came from at my house, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet
It's going to be
that's
interesting.
So I want to do the recent one Saturday. Do you want to do live Saturday? I can't remember what day we have it, but I totally can. Oh no, my dreams are. Yeah, we can go. You pick which dream.
You're talking about the most recent one where you saw me
Let's go through the zoink.
with the sweatshirt on, the hoodie, and Mom in there doing the hands-on.
Okay, yeah, we absolutely can if you want to do that. Because that was wild. Yes, we do have class tomorrow. So tomorrow night at 6 is when we're going over empath and is it a gift? Is it a curse? Are you born with it, or do you get to be created? What is it? So we will go through that book, and then we have quite a few things going on, and we'll probably add more because I'm home more often, so we can definitely do that. But yes, tomorrow night at 6, and yes, Jen, we can go over that dream if you'd like. So absolutely, hi, puppy.
I love the tongue.
Yeah.
The old man tongue, old girl
Yeah.
tongue, whatever it is. I always get it wrong.
No, it's old man tongue. He didn't do it
Oh,
when we
cool.
first got him. But now that he's turning gray, his little tongue never goes in. I mean, he'll go in, he can control it, but it just all the time.
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, when is my next? Tomorrow, Stephanie. Tomorrow. Sorry, I thought you were talking about just class
Aw,
tomorrow.
Waffles.
Yeah,
In his
tomorrow.
shirt.
He's the
I don't do this on purpose, guys. He has a scratching problem. Yes, I told everybody. I'm sorry.
How's he doing? Is he doing a lot better?
He's doing better. I think I got him on a new diet, so it's scratching a little less. We're going to try to get him out of a shirt.
Good, good.
Doing good. He's fat again.
I was gonna say, has he gained weight?
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, he's gained some weight.
Better. Looking better.
Gucci again.
Tomorrow at 1, Stephanie. So I'll do the live tomorrow, a sale tomorrow at 1. I have some of the new kits and stuff like that. So at 1, I'll do that. And then I'll send out tracking numbers. I have quite a few packages sitting here, and I'll send out tracking numbers tonight or tomorrow. I'm not going to say tonight because it probably won't happen tonight. All right, guys. You have any other questions? Anything like that?
Missed you guys.
I know we miss you. I
It's
love
been
having
so
you.
long. I finally have a new phone. It's been like, oh god, I think it's almost been a year, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
I'm telling him, I
been a
finally
while.
get to go back with you guys.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
Slowly but
I'm
surely.
excited.
I know it's fun. It's fun.
I know.
All right, guys.
I'm
Well,
excited. I'm gonna get my cat balls in. We're gonna have fun.
yeah, yeah. And there is cemeteries and stuff like that. If you come to the retreat, there are some places. There's some really cool cemeteries there. So
Yeah, that one we
visited.
went to wasn't even a mile down the road.
Yeah.
I found a cemetery in my town that is wide open, and it's kind of sad because it's all the people we don't know who they are. They're unidentified people.
Oh.
So it's a little cemetery, but it's the people that, people go to for, we have designated people that go to these things, but I'm going to do that when it cools down, because even at night it's too hot here.
Yeah.
It's too hot. But I found it, and I pointed it out because it's near one of our posts, and it was like, what's that? And so, oh, that's the people that we don't know their names. That's why there's nothing on the crosses. I'm like, okay, so families didn't come and get them for like a year, and
yeah.
okay, this should be interesting. I'm gonna walk it first, obviously, for safety reasons, but
Yeah.
try to do research, get pictures. I'm sure they have something somewhere
Probably
before I even attempt anything.
I love that.
That's like one of our legends here on our square. He was, scaling buildings in the 1920s, and he was just a traveler from out of town. Scaled our courthouse, went up on the clock tower, came back down, went back up the clock tower, came back down. It started raining while on his way down, and he fell. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew him by his name. Everybody just knew him as the Fly Man because that's what he called himself. So they literally displayed, huh? But
they had a few of those back then. It was a thing, like climbing buildings.
Yeah. But they displayed him in a glass coffin in a storefront.
Oh wow!
And said, "Do you know me?" And it took
that's one way to do it.
30 years
Right?
before somebody was able to identify. I mean, they went ahead and buried him, but it took decades for somebody to figure out who he was.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Hey Tanya, how are you, Tanya? Yeah, she was one of our retreat victims. Yeah, I definitely want to travel more next year, so I'm trying to see how this is going to all work. But we want to get through this next retreat, and then I hope to plan several more next year. That's our goal.
And Rebel, you ever come down here, I want to take you up to our sanitarium.
Ooh, let's do it.
It's tiny. It's out of the way. There is no signal, but we can do videos and replay them.
Right.
We have a sanitarium, and on the way up is an abandoned inn. And on the way up from that is an abandoned ranch. So this could be like a long trip, but it'll be fun.
That's interesting.
I love get down here. I have the perfect place to take you.
Yeah. I would really, really love to get into the Tennessee State Prison.
Oh.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And it's been, they say it's Tennessee's most haunted location. And you can hear, metal clanging on the bars. You can hear people screaming, all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
Let's
super
go.
hard it
I'll go
bends.
with you if I get up there. Do more traveling this year now that I have money.
Well,
I'm
the
gonna
only
do it.
thing is you'd
This
have
is
to sneak
ridiculous.
in, and I'm not about trespassing, so I wouldn't even
Yeah.
know who to contact to even
Maybe
try
we
to get
could
on the
find a way
property.
to get special permission in a year or something.
Yeah, because I mean they have it,
Like,
like security guarded off and like all sorts of stuff. So
Um, on
take
another note,
pictures. Maybe
just
we could do a long distance thing.
on so Chica, I know
Maybe we
you
could just
guys are
like look
all
in
over,
windows.
but so my not my friend's band, but the band Blacklight District is going to go on tour again, and my goal is to be able to travel, not well, to go to some of the shows. That's what we'll say. Go to some of the shows in some of the other states. So once that comes out, there is a chance that we'll be traveling, and maybe by then I'll be able to snag Rebel or anybody else that wants to go, because that's kind of part of the dream thing and all the stuff. I think some of it's all interconnected, and
so yeah, it is in some way.
uh, be a roadie, kind of.
Yes,
Absolutely, Chica. Absolutely.
that's the dream.
Be a roadie. I'm just friends with them. Like it's just a thing. So yeah. Oh, perfect. How exciting.
Paranormal.
Yay, yay, yay. Yes, with the bus. That is definitely where so much of it's tied in. So we can talk more about that on Saturday with Jen. But yeah, that's a huge part of a vision I had when I was at the last show. And definitely this person and this band is definitely connected to some things that we do in the future. I think Rebel agrees with that. There's no way that I'm not meant to do something with this person because it's too much of a thing. So definitely, you'd love to
Well,
meet us in real life.
and both of
Yeah,
you have their different, intentions being put out there, but
yeah,
there's so much the same.
yeah,
Like you focus on authenticity of people, and they do it through music.
yeah, yeah,
But it's the same message just through a different outlet.
yeah. It is, and my love, right? I love music too. So for me, it's just like a full circle of all of it being blended. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think a blend your spirit per se, one might say. So there we go. Yeah, Chica, that's the goal for
Oh,
sure.
where's my
And it
Yeah.
kitty
has
crew?
been ever.
I need it. I should have
Oh
worn
yeah,
that.
the Kitty Crew shirt. I know. I need to. I'm gonna make some more shirts.
Kitty crew.
I have a goal to make some shirts. You know those shirts that are like, um, you're meant to be here. They say different stuff like that. I think that eventually we want to have shirts and that'll say blend your spirit, and it'll have something on the back like if you're seeing this, know you're important, or stuff like that.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So, long down the
That'd be
line
nice.
after we have our bus.
Yeah. Kind of like the
So,
dear person behind me,
yeah, yeah,
shirts. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we'd love to meet Shelby. Hands down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, all right,
All you
guys.
guys.
Thanks for jumping in, Rebel, and you guys sticking with me
Yeah.
through my family event that was so special.
Yeah.
And thanks
We
for jumping in.
family around
Yes.
What was
here. That's what family does.
that? Oh.
Sometimes, unfortunately.
So, all right, guys. I
I'm
appreciate
moving.
you. I'm gonna go to bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Love y'all.
Night, guys. Bye.
Bye.